So I'm here to tell you the journey of Reliance. You can, this as far as this digital transformation is concerned, we are already there. Whether it is digital twin, we are into the well twin or subsurface twin. We have already implemented UOCC, that is Unified Operations Command Center. Then the autonomous field. A lot of efforts has gone into the drilling and completion side, onto the implementing the AI and ML tools, wherein we can have the predictive analytics in terms of the predictive maintenance or predictive failures of the devices at operation sites or fields. So today I am going to discuss on the adoption of cloud basically. So we have taken a major leap onto moving on our complete processing onto cloud. So this was not an easy task. Basically, it was a decision and a cultural shift as well, because we have been operating on site since 2004, and it was a state-of-art facility that we had built in our base campus at RCP, Navi Mumbai. So it was around 600 plus cores and 9 plus teraflops of throughput with IBM Limpact benchmark tested in IBM sites basically, and having parallel storage at a back end and everything. So over a period of time, it had many upgrades in terms of software, hardware, and then the seismic processes, workflows, and everything. So also the throughput had increased, but over a period of time, what we observed that the performance and the utilization of the setup, it is not linear throughout. Okay, sometimes the workload is very high, but throughout basically it doesn't remain that way, and the system gets underutilized many a times. And with the era of this digital transformation, with the new acquisition of this UDW1, with the post acquisition, what we observed that with the level 1 processing that we had done with some partner in Asia Pacific, so it got delayed by 2.5 months because of the resource crunch. And then when it was taken onto cloud, we observed that this 2.5 months got reduced to 15 days. So the delay was eventually of only 15 days. And that was, the decision that we made, that yes, we have to also take a step and move our facility onto cloud. And then since you all know that maintaining a on-site setup, it's cumbersome. Basically, you need to have many, upgrades, and then initial capex and opex is also very high. So subsequent slides, I will talk about that. So basically, the corporate like Reliance, it's not easy to get into the public clouds. It's not that easy, because where the corporate sites and the complete network has malware attacks in thousands on daily basis. It's not that easy. So the security and governance is paramount in this case. So we have dealt with all these security and governance parameters. At every stage we have laid processes wherein whether it is infrastructure, whether it is authentication, authorization, network, whether it is data, because data is also crucial, because when you move terabytes of data onto cloud and then you want to restrict that data to only to the end users of Reliance or the corporate, so it becomes very paramount. And then with this, we believe that we have taken a leap onto the new platform, cognitive digital platform with pay as we grow model, and all that inherent benefits of cloud that we have started getting. So I'll talk about it. Okay, so moving on to the engagement model. So 2-3 things were there in our mind when we started this journey. The first is how we have to go about it. Whether we have to completely go on to public cloud, because see, unless you move on to public cloud, you will not get that this cost benefit, because public cloud like AWS or Azure or GCP will only offer you the competitive pricing. There are vendors and service providers in the market today, they offer the seismic processing softwares but onto their private cloud, and you all know that private clouds have their own overheads. So that benefit basically do not get transferred onto customer basically. So we end up paying high. So unless we move on to public cloud, you will not get that benefit of cost. That is first thing. So there are of course other models are also available, like hybrid cloud, wherein you can keep your data on premise and you can just have processing done on the public cloud, wherein you can utilize the resources on the cloud. So but we decided to completely move on to public cloud. The second aspect of it is the workload basically. So what is the quantum of work that we intend to work on, and what is the time of processing that we foresee basically. These are two crucial points because these are directly linked with cost. Okay, so when you say we are moving on to cloud, you have to pay for everything. If you use 1 KB of space, you have to pay. If you are using 1 gigahertz of processing power onto the cloud, you have to pay. So you have to be very specific basically on your workload and the time that you want to spend on the cloud. Okay, so that was again a trade-off. Then third thing is how you want to take your data, because this is a bulk data. So in our case it is deep water marine data. So basically how you want to take this data onto cloud. So there are various options available, like you can lift and shift your data, because in first lift and shift we have transferred almost more than 20 terabytes of data on the cloud. Okay, so second option would be you can have a direct MPLS link between your premises and a cloud CSP provider. Third would be you can have a carrier partner in between, and you can have a public link or private link to that, and then obviously you expect a carrier partner to have a dedicated connectivity with a CSP. So there are various models available and you can choose one of them based on your capacity of expenditure. The third thing is we are more of on the on-premise setup. We are dealing with the concurrent floating licenses and all, user-based or name-based licenses. Here the complete paradigm is shifted onto subscription-based model. Yesterday also, I think Mr. Malhotra was talking about, I don't know, Baker Hughes' director. So all this subscription-based model, and then we have to learn and we have to choose basically who is going to work on what. So when you have the ample licenses available within premises, on premises, you don't bother. But on cloud, you need to take care of this. So these are all, engagement models which you precisely, if you sit and if you decide and work on, probably you will get that cost benefit on cloud. So because cloud always has a fear of overrunning the cost, and it is true. Okay. So this is the processing workflows that we are running currently on cloud. So if you see all of these, whether it is SRME, interpolation, or FWF, full wave inversion, or RTM, these are all resource intensive kind of workflows and advanced algorithms. So what we have observed is this, like RTM or wave equation migration, people used to run this on a smaller set of data. But now with the scalability of cloud, on the fly, on demand, you can increase the compute, storage, GPUs, CPUs, everything. And then this can be flawlessly run on the cloud. Of course, all these interpolation and SRME also, we have seen that with the help of, and this resource scaling is on the fly. I mean, you don't have to wait for it. Okay, unlike on premises where you have invested for say whatever setup that we have been discussing so far, it is more than $2 million that you have to spend, and then you have to run this setup completely, whether it is high demand or low demand, you have to maintain the show. Okay, so business challenges on premise setup, as we all know, this is high capex, high opex, and then system upgrades are time consuming, resource utilization sometimes or many of the times it is suboptimal, and then sharing the data from remote, this we have seen mostly in the pandemic for last 2.5 years. Then regular software upgrades basically in terms of patching and all are not regular because of the technology obsolescence, that we don't have to care in cloud at all. Okay. So the generic benefits, what we have seen in the cloud is microservices architecture, wherein you decouple everything. Your software code itself gets decoupled, and then you don't have to go for or face a complete downtime of the software. Only the affected package will be down, and the rest everything you can use as it is. CI/CD is continuous implementation, continuous delivery. So every release is basically updated from the backend, and you don't have to wait for the release. You get all the latest releases in the software. So that is one more benefit. The portability. So almost all cloud service providers, they provide the cloud agnostic data formats. So this is basically when you draft the terms and conditions, that time you have to take care of this, because there should not be a lock-in. Because once you decide to go on with a X cloud provider, CSP, and tomorrow you want to move on to Y cloud provider, your data should not stuck into the CSP domain basically. So that we can take care. So this is one of the topology that we have adopted. There are different ways by which you can reach out to cloud, and of course you have to take care of the security also. So we have taken this approach of moving on to public cloud over open internet, where we have ensured everything that is restricted to RIL IP segments at corporate level, at WAN level, and then we had asked CSP to create a separate tenant for Reliance, wherein those IPs can only be allowed from our network. So at that granular level we have taken care. On the data lift and shift, we had gone with the data box, as you have many options available, like data box in case of Azure, or Snowball in case of AWS, or maybe the data capsule in case of GCP. So with this actually you can port your data onto cloud, and this data is all encrypted. This is not a plain text data, wherein you can securely transfer this data. And at every level you can have the security and governance processes, own processes also, and from the audit perspective also you can lay these processes, and then this data gets copied into the cloud bucket and then to customer bucket, and then our end users can start processing their data and start using the algorithms and software and workflows there. So corporate governance point of view, we have ensured that certification compliance is in place. So basically we have chosen a CSP which is accredited by METI, so Ministry of Information Technology, Electronics and Information Technology. So they have 13 CSPs that has been shortlisted, and all are basically accredited and certified by METI. And then second clause that we are complying, that is data residency. So in this project, before this project kickoff, we had a couple of rounds of discussion with DGH and NDR also. So this data residency point was raised. I am not sure about the current status, sir. You can maybe put on some light on this. But yes, we are still meeting this this clause, and our data is in Indian premises only. It's in Mumbai. Okay. From the data privacy and security point of view, yes, we have ensured that data which is flowing onto cloud, the seismic data, is encrypted at rest and in transit, both. Okay. Then we had asked for monitoring and governance. Yes, the exit route is also available. So at any given point of time, you can pull over a data because it is in open format, and you can go for a CSP of your choice. Okay, so from process compliance point of view, we have ensured that the data transmittals are in place. The second is we have restricted our IPs from our corporate segment to the CSP tenant side. We have whitelisted the apps which are sitting on the end user computers. We have laid up processes and policies for data deletion once it is copied into the CSP, and then we get a certificate. And then also the information risk management compliance point of view, we have taken enough care to only allow those ports which are responsible for the transaction. So these are all benefits that we all are aware. This is fit for purpose solution, rapid deployment, and then advanced algorithms, data residency, work from any place, cloud ready engagement, and this eliminates all integration, performance, reliability issues. So we are getting almost everything there. So conclusion is, Yes, cloud is a no-brainer. It's a silver lining for future. And then we expect these geophysicists, those who have the seismic knowledge should also acquire the digital platform knowledge or the cloud knowledge, so that it would be easy for them to navigate on the cloud. The most important point here is the service provider and software providers, basically those who operate from their private clouds, as long as they start integrating their codes, basically, okay, onto public cloud, so customers may not get that cost benefit as long as this is not happening. So this is one of the takeaway that probably we all can look at. So thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. Thank you.